What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. Last thing I want to talk about in this part of the podcast is we got to talk about AEW Dynamite, because they had their Grand Slam show, which it's been an annual tradition for them at Arthur Ashe Stadium. And the build for this was kind of, to be honest with you, but I do think overall it was a good show. We got some some good things that came out of it, but however, Prime made a point about it, which I do want to address. It's Arthur Ashe Stadium. We remember when they got 20,000 people to see Omega versus Bryan Danielson in that first Arthur Ashe Stadium back a couple years ago, right? And they had the long level ramp to the ring. Prime pointed out a good thing, saying that this ring was elevated. I mean, it wasn't elevated. It was a normal stage, like a normal ass Dynamite. And I think, like, I don't have any proof of this, but I do think they did that because I don't think they sold out the 20,000 seats like they would have. I don't even know if they got 10,000 people in that stadium yesterday, to be honest with you. Now, from what I seen, like from watching the clip stuff like that, it looked like it was pretty full in there, to be honest with you. But I'm not necessarily sure how it was like being in that arena. But that layout that Prime had talked about, it looked it looked like, it wasn't 20,000 people in there. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I can agree.
Yeah. So we had, some good matches on here. So they kicked it off. Excuse me. With Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness. 15 years in the making. Nigel McGuinness has been wanting this matchup. He hasn't been cleared to wrestle, but now he came back. I thought the build to this was lame, in my personal opinion. But they had a good match.
There wasn't a build.
Say what?
There wasn't a build to it. It was just like Nigel came back and wrestled his first match in like 10-something years. And then he was like, you know what? Since I'm wrestling again, I want Bryan Danielson for the belt. And that was it.
Yeah, like I said, it's been shitty. And I haven't been watching Collision or anything like that, but Bryan Danielson...
I guess it's been a lame build, but since it's Nigel McGuinness, who hasn't wrestled since, in 13, 14 years, I think he can get away with that because it's Nigel McGuinness.
Gotcha.
So if it was anybody else, though, that probably wouldn't be the best reason. But since it's him and like he's like a known, like, yeah, I can wrestle and all that kind of stuff, I kind of like how he kind of like people want him to have a title shot type of thing.
Yeah. They also, let's see what we Bryan Danielson won. He made Nigel McGuinness submit, and as he was submitted, he was like, "Thank you," because that's what he really wanted, and tapped out. So, and JR was like, "Did he just say thank you?" So, he taps out to his friend Bryan Danielson.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of JR. Speaking of JR, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm at the airport yesterday. Or no, not yesterday. Day before. No, whatever. No, that's day before yesterday. I'm at the airport day before yesterday, and like, I see a dude in a wheelchair. He looked small and frail, but he got on this goddamn cowboy hat. I'm like, is that Jim Ross? But I'm like, nah, that's not Jim Ross. Jim Ross is bigger than that. And why is this guy in a wheelchair? So I'm like, I don't know. He looked just like Jim Ross. Glasses and everything. Like glasses, hat, big hat. And I'm like, is that Jim Ross for real or am I tripping? So then I go, and I'm like, "Are you Jim Ross? Or are you just a lookalike?" He was like, "Nah, pal, it's me." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." No, because when I say he don't even look like Jim Ross. Like, I know what Jim Ross looks like in the face. Of course, I know the cowboy hat, but body wise, you would not think that's Jim Ross.
I think he
So
was
that's why I'm like,
sick. I think he lost a lot of weight. I think he was sick. Did he have cancer?
I think they got it before it affects his body. But still, I was like, I'm expecting Jim Ross to still be a little bigger. And he had on like a big sweater too, so he probably couldn't show. But he looked very small. I was like, oh, well, yeah, that's Jim Ross.
That's good.
Because at first I wasn't sure, even with the cowboy hat. Yes, I wasn't sure, people. Yes.
Yeah. Good old JR. I tell you, man. I tell you. Then they had, so Bryan Danielson won that one. By the way, it's going to be more of a recap, y'all. It's not going to be a detailed review. Just for anybody out there that's looking for that, it's not going to be there. But we also had, I was like, fix something. We had Hook taking on Roderick Strong for the it was FTW rules for the FTW Championship. And you know what? I thought, my personal opinion, they should have did this shit at All Out or All In, but they didn't. So I guess they wanted to say it for Grand Slam, so they can do, have something to sell the thing on. But Hook beats Roderick Strong with the red rum, and finally calls his dad up there, and they retire the FTW Championship. Some shit they should have been dead, because the shit that was going on with Jericho and the FTW Championship and during the summer, it was boring. It was terrible. I couldn't stand it. I was like, why are we still doing the FTW Championship when it means absolutely nothing? It's a pride thing that Taz had. It was cool that his son had it. But then I thought once Hook won the belt back from Jericho, because Jericho was being a bully with it. I didn't say y'all want to tell a story. Go ahead, tell y'all a story. But once Hook won it back from Jericho, then he should have been like, all right, we got it back. It's retired. Wait until Grand Slam to do the match with Ross. Now, once again, I could have missed important storyline aspects leading
probably just
up to
because it was in New York, and that's where the championship was made or created.
Because Taz from Brooklyn, right?
I think Taz from Brooklyn, but I think the actual championship was made in that area where Arthur Ashe is.
Gotcha. Okay, so.
Oh well, not made, but they probably debuted it in an arena in New York.
Yeah. So I can understand them wanting to do that. So fine. Tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks took on Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, but they beat the Young Bucks retained, which is not surprising by no means. Mariah May defeated. Oh God, you gotta help me out with this, Prime. Yakua Sasuki, or Sakazaki.
Let me just go see Let me go see real quick, cause hold up, let me see. You said Mariah.
I've seen her before, but I'm just like, I know I'm saying that name wrong.
Versus hold on, I'm gonna look it up right now. Grand Slam.
Mm-hmm.
Yuka Sakazaki.
Yeah, see, wouldn't have got that if you paid me. Wouldn't have got that if you paid me. But yeah, Mariah May retains her little sexy ass. But after the matchup, Willow Nightingale comes out there, thicky, out there just looking good. Was out there, and she stepped to Mariah May because they were supposed to be friends backstage, and then she got distracted when that other Asian girl came out who used to hang over Mariah May, but she said she's been changing. Then she hits Willow in the head with the belt, and she goes up and hugs that lady on stage. So I was just like, okay, I love Willow Nightingale. As y'all know, I call her Thicky. And I would love for her to get a shot at the championship, but there's one problem. Didn't Chris Statlander win that match at All Out? Or was it Willow Nightingale?
If Chris did win the match, she probably got injured or something.
No, I said Chris Statlander.
I know. I said if she did win the match, she probably got injured or something. That's probably why Willow Nightingale would be there if she lost that match.
I'm about to say, because wouldn't Chris Statlander be in line to get championship opportunities and stuff like that? I'm just saying, because I was like, well, as much as I love Vicky, I was just like, I don't know why she's out here hating on Mariah May, but hey, you got to build somebody for her championship, because right now, there's nobody there, to challenge her right now. The main event was Jon Moxley taking on Darby Allin. Now, this is for the AEW World Championship opportunity, because Darby Allin had a championship opportunity and Bryan Danielson at at tonight at the Grand Slam. But no, Nigel McGuinness wanted that shot because Darby Allin wanted to face Jon Moxley to put his championship on the line. So now the winner will face Bryan Danielson at Wrestle Dream, which is October 12th. I looked that up. So it's the next weekend after Bad Blood. This matchup was a what you would expect a Jon Moxley Darby Allin matchup to be. Marina Shafir pulled up the mat on the outside. Darby Allin goes and tries to do a suicida or dive through the bottom rope and flip on the Moxley. And misses and back splats right on the concrete. That was just dumb. Because I was just like... And then Moxley, to make shit worse, picks up Darby Allin and gives him an X-Plex. You know what Moxley's X-Plex
Yeah, I know
right?
the X-Plex is, yeah.
On top of the steel steps. And I was just like, damn.
Nah, I would have did that on the concrete too. I'm sorry.
What you he just splattered on the concrete.
Exactly. You doing stupid stuff? I'm gonna do it again. You wanna do it again? I'm gonna do it again.
You sound like a dad punching his kid. Like, oh, you want to be stupid? I'm gonna show you what's gonna be like. I'll give you something to cry about.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, not to say I couldn't be a wrestler, but if we going off of like say if you dive and you miss.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna pick you up and then slam you right on the I'm gonna slam you right back on the concrete. Like you crash and burn in front of me, and I'm selling. I'm gonna get back up and just do something so you can like fall on your back end. That's more calling the match, but still, that's like more how some people call the match.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, like, if you were like a Jon Moxley, like this Jon Moxley type character, I can expect them to do that. Like I would expect them to pick him back up and hit an X-Plex on the concrete, just like. That's how I feel like Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, I feel like he'll want to be like, oh, you want to do this? All right, I do it. You want another one? Kind of like when you beating them, you be like, oh, you want it again? All right, boom. It's like just talking trash like that. I can feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I feel you. But then they go in there. The finish came when they was both on the top rope, and I was like, why can't they? Because they did the same finish last time Darby and Jon Moxley was at it. They was both on top rope, but like Darby tried to go for a superplex, and as he was going for it, Moxley turned it into a Death Rider from the top and planted him on his head again. So he wins the matchup. So Moxley's going to Wrestle Dream to take on Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson comes out and starts choking Moxley with like a rope or something like that. And then that's when Claudio and Marina Shafir and Pac start coming out, start jumping Bryan Danielson, and then all of a sudden Private Party comes out to help out Bryan Danielson. I was like, oh shit, there's still a thing. So that's how they broke everything down. So that's what it was for Grand Slam. Now, honestly, that was the main event, but that's not my main event, because the last thing we're gonna talk about here is Prince Nana was to come out and to give us an update on Swerve Strickland, because he died and all out. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause, he got injected with needles and got his head blown in by a steel chair. So he was here to give us an update on what's going on about how he's not clear to wrestle. But somebody comes out and interrupts Prince Nana, and it's none other than MVP. MVP is in the house with the suit. Got his Michael from Boys to Men Kane coming out, and he said that
I ain't gonna lie, I was with MVP the whole time until he said, "Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is M to the V to the VP." I was like, oh.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Jay Uso did that same shit. Remember, he was like, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name was Oos. Like, y'all be on that whole shit hard. So, But MVP was letting everybody know who he was and everything like that, and letting know that hey, that Swerve had a pretty good run of 2024. But when he's ready, I want to know if he's ready to talk business. It's coming, Prime. It's coming. It's coming to AEW. What I like to WWE, but it's coming to AEW, bro. Hurt business at AEW.
The only thing about that is how.
What do you mean how?
Because Swerve is the top dog, and if Lashley coming in, Lashley's not about to be the second person to Swerve.
I mean, I agree.
Unless they win the tag titles, then yeah. But if they're not winning the tag titles, it's not about to be It's not about to be Swerve and Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and whoever else in the team. It's not like it's not. I'm sorry.
But no,
Lashley has to be the big guy in the stable. So it's like it's either you do Swerve. But again, Swerve is the big guy, so you don't have Lashley take over and then put Swerve back in the tag team, back in the little league. So I don't know how they would do that, unless it don't got nothing to do with Lashley at all, and then it's like MVP and like Kenny King and Shelton Benjamin or something. Then
oh God, please let's not go back to beatdown, Clint. Let's not bring Kenny King and go back to beatdown. We ain't gotta do that, but look, MVP gives him his
I ain't gonna, well, real quick. Seriously though, if he do bring back Lashley, that's kind of impressive. Cause that'd be like 3 different groups that they've been like a stable or whatever in.
Yeah,
and I kind of like that.
But also, if Tony Khan is supposed to make good storytelling, Swerve don't have to accept at jump, and him and Lashley gonna be going through a feud. That is possible because right now Swerve needs something else to do while let's see, Bryan Danielson's the champion right now. Swerve's going to get the championship back, but right now, his shit was with Hangman. It's like, okay, we can bring them in here to destroy Hangman Page, and then you can have a thing going up into Lashley going into next year until it's time for him to get that belt back. But I do agree with you. Having Lashley as the second dog to Swerve, when Lashley was the top dog in the Hurt Business WWE, and he's a top name now, It ain't gonna work out like that because when Swerve gets his title back, Lashley ain't coming out there with Swerve, and then when Lashley gets hit, if he wins the title, Swerve ain't gonna come out there. So I don't know how it's gonna be because, like I said, I don't know what's going on with Bobby Lashley right now, but I do know having MVP there, it's gonna be the slow burn, and I'm all for it, bruh. I'm all for it. MVP is all elite, bruh. I'm all for it.